Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you. Program which has been compressed from 3 days to 5.5 hours. So, that's creativity. That people are really much, much better than they think they are. It's often the question, do we switch the right kind of machinery when we do a certain task? Now, everybody's going to be on the spot today, so you'll be the first one. What was it? And we do understand that about the physical body, don't we? Totally. And the question is, do we understand that about the mind? Also feel creative thinking, because you got to feel it. Creativity is not a dry thing. It's a live thing. Absolutely supreme kind. It's going to challenge every fiber of you. You're going to think that you're little kids all over again. And when we think with the kid in us, my goodness, sky's the limit. William Shakespeare said, American Express, never leave home without it. Yes, that's a new quote. That's right. Dinner, have a good dinner. And 3 steps is that you have confidence about what it is that you are going to do, to being creative. Because creative is about things that have not yet happened. How can you do it if you don't take risks? You got it. And the attitude and the state of mind that belongs with it requires a certain amount of freedom, part of which the environment needs to provide, and part of which the person needs to give themselves. There is a bit of fear with it. We are afraid to make mistakes because we are those kids today in leadership of how to really inspire people around you. But you can't inspire them until you do it yourself. Because when you learn something, you just know it mentally. When you practice it and you do it and you don't mind making mistakes and trying, you get the knack of it, providing that those adjustments are made right at the core. And let me do a little bit of improvisation with you just to demonstrate this point. I need 2 volunteers. 2 volunteers, please. We have a thing that think that question needs an answer. And we have that from way, way back. He would divide the time. And he said, I would take 55 minutes of the 60 minutes to understand the question, to understand the problem. And 5 minutes I would spend on the solution. But they need a stability. They need something to go to. They need someone that would take their skills and fashion it to something successful. And they need confidence. Are most incredible intelligent creatures if they use the machinery that they were given. If you today decide to drop outside what you thought about creative thinking just for today and be open and give it your all, and decisions cannot be made when you get personal agendas. It's the best strategic creative thought. How can you make a person better than you? Change is a small adjustment. And it's like a virus that takes over, just like anything else. Emotional viruses and infecting other people with emotional viruses. Now that goes to the attitude of creativity, and it goes to strategic thinking. Why? Because you got a plan for it. Stress prevents thinking. Am I hitting some notes here or something? It's not that you sit around the table in la-la land and ideas land on you. That's not what I'm talking about. Not at all. But you need to work a certain intensity. Remove pressure. Make it chaotic as it comes. You want to be creative because in your job as a human, you don't want to be dull. And a company that thinks like this actually considers people as assets. Does that help you a little bit? Make sense? Okay, good. One more question, and we got to move on. Lovely. Who was reading there? So we're looking for questions that gets us into the core of something. We're not looking just how to patch things up. And I'll tell you, folks, the way people think about things is everything.